Hey everybody, every week without fail I get a phone call or a question in the shop on how to clean old pewter. So here's my first video on how to clean old pewter. This Art Deco Revival tea set, which was probably made in Indonesia in the 1930s, has never been cleaned. As you can see from the gray color of the surface, it is oxidized slowly over the years. The first thing I do when I look at a set is I take a lid off and I look at the inside, and that's going to give me an idea of how bright I can get the surface of the exterior of the pieces once I'm done polishing. But first, what I've had to do is take each of the individual pieces and look them over. This little creamer had a dent over here, so I fashioned tools out of wooden dowels that are shaped kind of like my fingertips. This one in the shape of a thumb had a big dent, was pushed in the side, so I've pushed it back out, and I've got to get all the pieces straight before I do the cleaning process. So all the others are in pretty good shape. This one needed a little help. So the next thing I'm going to do in the first step of the actual cleaning process is to dip the piece for several minutes in really hot water to loosen up some of the dirt. So right now I'm just going to put this piece, the little cream jug, in the bucket of hot steel. It's as hot as you can tolerate for a few minutes, and then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to scour it with some super fine steel wool. So let's put it in the pot and then we'll wait a few minutes and I'll show you how I do the cleanup. All right, so this piece is out of the hot water. First thing I did was I took a very fine piece of gray Scotch-Brite. The gray Scotch-Brite pad is the fine, and I scoured the interior, which already had a satin finish. There were a few dark spots on the inside, so I wanted to clean those up a little bit. The next step after I go after the inside is I take my 4-0, that's 0000 steel wool, get it wet, and here's my secret weapon right here, guys. I use Dawn dish liquid. I put a little on the pad, just like so, and then I go to town with some elbow grease, and I rub, and I rub, and I rub. Now what you want to do when you're cleaning with the steel wool is go with the direction of the turning or the spinning. So in this case it would be around in a straight line around the circumference like this. When you get to the spout, you can turn it on its side and very carefully go up and down in the spout. But don't go this way on the body. Always go around the radius. Get as close to as you can to the ferrules or the spouts and the wooden handle. This is a good solid, probably rosewood handle, so I'm not worried about discoloring the handle, but I want to get the ferrule, which holds the handle, and I want to get that as close to the body as possible. Top, sides. The bottom attachment is actually just a strip of metal. It was gray. I'm just going to run it over this very carefully. See how that brightens up already? I mean, we haven't even gotten to the polishing process. We've gone from gray to fairly shiny without even actually getting to the metal polish. So I want to hit every surface with a super fine, including the bottom, which reveals the maker's mark. We call that the touch mark. TKF PP Banca. It's probably 1930s, made in Indonesia, I believe. Really cute little service. That's why I'm putting in the effort to get the whole thing restored, because I really like the way it looks, and I'll turn it around and sell it when I'm done straightening it and cleaning it. All right, so I'm going to dip this in the hot water again, and then we'll go to the polishing phase next. I've pushed out a dent with a little wooden forming tool. I've scoured the inside to get that cleaned up, given it a little satin finish on the inside. I've gone over the entire exterior surface with superfine steel wool with a little dab of Dawn dish liquid. The steel wool is wet, of course. The next step now is to take 100% cotton ball, and my absolute favorite metal polish is the semi-chrome. It's a German polish. It's the most expensive polish for metals on the market. It's great for pewter. 3M makes a chrome and metal polish. They tried to knock off this formula, but I love this semi-chrome, and you're going to see why. I put a little bit on the cotton ball, and I rub the surface same direction back and forth as the steel wool. And the beautiful thing about the semi-chrome is that any wispy lines from the steel wool will be filled in with the metal polish, so you'll no longer see the evidence of the scouring. But look at that, okay? Surface dirt coming right off. Let's go to the bottom. I'm gonna get that touch mark right back to life. I like to wipe this stuff off wet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do this in sections, but you'll get to see how it shines up right out of the gate. Okay? Look at that. See that? Look at that shine. Yeah, that's Lily in the... And there's the bottom all cleaned up. So I'm just going to keep going at this. I'm going to do all the individual pieces in the tray, and you'll see we've gone from that color gray to that kind of shine with really not a lot of effort. All right. So this is the sugar bowl. The inside was not as bad, so I actually just used the steel wool on the inside. Being very careful not to put the steel wool on the wood, but I'm getting as close to that as possible on the handle connection. Get the underside too. And then I'll dip this in the hot water, and then we'll put the semi-chrome on this as well. See how I'm just going with the direction of the body here? Lid's already done. Polish this next. All right, so just out of the hot water and scoured is the sugar bowl. Got this all prepped for polish. I'm gonna do the lid next. Semi-chrome going around in circles, just like so. And I'm gonna wipe it. Look at the dirt. All right, that's the dirt. That's the surface oxides. Next thing I'm going to do is take a little, I like these cotton diapers. It's a hospital diaper, 100% cotton. Don't use anything with polyester, guys. Everything's got to be 100% cotton. Look at the shine on that already, all right? Look at the shine on that. All right, so I'm going to polish up the sugar bowl. I'm going to polish up the teapot, and then I'm going to polish up the tray, and we'll give you a before and after look at this scudgy tea set that we're bringing back to life. Hasn't been cleaned in what, 60 plus years. So, all right, I'll give you a final picture later. All right, guys, so within the span of 4 hours time, we've cleaned up this entire tea service that hadn't been polished in over 50 years. I mean, the set dates to the 1930s, so it could, yeah, it's about 90 years old. And it's no lead, so it's safe to use. So we use the semi-chrome metal polish. 3M knocked off the formula. They have a chrome and metal polish, part 39527. If you want to pay half the price, that's $35. That's $16. I'll pay the $35. I like this for antique stuff. So we put everything in hot water. We soaked it. We rubbed it down with superfine steel wool and our secret weapon, Dawn dish liquid. We let it get perfectly dry, and then we polished each piece with 100% cotton ball, and we wiped away the residue with 100% cotton diaper, and look at how dirty those are. So thanks to Lily the Goose Film Productions, you're going to see a before and after shot of this tea service, but that's, folks, is ready to sell. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely. Thank you, Lily.